boy looks so sad. Oh, the camera. Ooh. Okay, that's better. Hi, it's me, Scott. Boy, oh boy, you're so cold. Poor boy, it's kind of cold. It'll warm up. Sudoku will warm things up for sure. Okay, so, oh boy, are you cold? You shivering? Poor little guy. Okay, we might have to like set up space heater for Bowie. Okay, we're gonna start on this puzzle. This vaulted lattice by Blobz. So last stream was my first time doing a vault puzzle, which is super cool, and I just still don't necessarily feel like I have my mind fully wrapped around it. But this puzzle has 1 billion rin bands, and has vaults. And vaults are cages that do allow repeats, but any digit that orthogonally touches a vault cannot be inside that vault. So it is a rule set that hurts my head a little bit, but we're gonna try to figure it out. I'm also trying something a little different with music today. See how that goes. Should we just do this shader of the week? I don't like it. Maybe not thematically appropriate, but kind of into it. I mean, it's kind of works with rin bands, right, Billy? Are you okay? Is it cold? Okay, so what are we doing? I guess we're just gonna do this puzzle. You look so uncomfortable. Okay, I'm sorry. Bowie looks miserable. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna set him on the floor with the space heater. Be right back. Okay, we got a space heater. Oops. We got a space heater. We got some water. Doing okay? Okay, hopefully that's all better. We'll get Bowie's help in a little while. So, we're just going to try this puzzle, I think. So we have to remember things about volts. Like, for example, this 1 tells us that a 1 cannot touch this volt at all, which is a little bit interesting. Because, pardon me, in this cage, for example, we can see that 1 can't be there anywhere, and 1 can't touch. So we know that in this cage, 1 is in this box, that 1 is in the vault. I don't know if that's that big of a deal, but anyway. What else do we know? We know some of these are pretty long rin bands. In fact, most of these are pretty long rin bands. So 5-cell rin bands always have a 5 on them, right? Because it's either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. There always has to be a 5. So each of these rin bands is going to have 5 somewhere. That's a little interesting. This puzzle is it's so visually striking. I'm just seeing it as a cross-hatched shape. I'm having trouble just seeing it as a puzzle. Okay, so we thought a little bit about cages. We thought a little bit about rim bands, but I'm also realizing that we have some cage totals this time, which I don't think we had previously. So if we are going to make a 3 in 2 digits, it's always a 1-2 pair, unless there's some funny rule here. Ellen Damasi, how's it going? It's this happy little pug. We're doing vault puzzles. Still trying to wrap my head around it slightly, but it's going to be okay. Unless there's something weird about the sums here in volts, but I don't think so. That's a little bit okay, that places the 1 right. So 1, 2 here, and there has to be a 1 in here somewhere, but the 1, how are you doing? 1 can't be, I said that in a sort of a strange surprised way. I don't know why I said it like that. This 1 is not allowed because it touches that volt. So that puts 1 here or here. If this is a 1, this has to be a 2, 3. That's going to be kind of interesting. There's no 2s in there anywhere. So it's not crazy that that would be 1, 2. Doing okay. I'm kind of in a weird, I don't know, I'm going to call it a lull a little bit. I had a quick trip at the end of last month, which was nice. And then I was cat sitting for a while, and then I came back and I'm dog sitting. And this is not, I can't blame anyone but myself, but I've just sort of devoted my life to cat sitting and dog sitting for a while. And that's not to say that I couldn't do other productive things. I'm just using it as an excuse kind of to not to do anything productive. But at some point, I'm going to have to be productive again. I got 2 exciting things in the mail today. Very exciting. One of them is a bag of 6-foot extension cords, which was such an embarrassing impulse purchase. But I feel like I need 6-foot extension cords all the time, and they were only $2 each. So how could I resist? But the more interesting thing, which I didn't even open yet, it just came in the mail, is which I'm, let's say, like a medium amount of interested in. I'm modestly medium interested in. No, it's true. It absolutely is. I mean, the funny thing, the pet sitting part is absolutely less commitment than having your own pet. It just means I could bring Bowie here during the day, but I end up just staying at Bowie's house, and I just don't get as much done over there. Also, the real truth is I just playing Yakuza 8 all the time. I got my Raspberry Pi 5, finally. And in fact, by finally, I mean I canceled the order with SparkFun because it just showed up in stock in DigiKey. Okay, I've distracted myself as usual. There's not a ton of ways to make 6 in 2 digits. One of those digits involves 5 plus 1. You can't have 3 plus 3. And so this is just 4, 2. A 1, 2 pair looking that way and a 2, 4 pair looking down this way. Oh, okay, well this is interesting. This sums to 10, so we couldn't put a 1 here. Because if this was a 1, this would have to be a 9, and there's definitely not a 9 on here. Because this is a 1 or a 2, so this is a maximum of 4. So that's definitely not a 1. So this is a 1. And this song is not good. Hopefully the music's better this time than it was last time, but we'll see. Rim bands cannot... There's no repeat digits on a rim band, so this is the 2 and this is the 1. This means this has to be a 3, so this has to be a 7. Which puts this rim band on kind of the higher end of things. 2... Well, just thinking about 2s for a second. If we have a 2 here, this has to be a 3, right? 7, 6, 5, 4. This is not a 2 because we couldn't get high enough. But I think this could be a 2. We haven't ruled 2 out of this vault yet. Is this true? If this is a 2, this has to be a 3. If this is a 2, I think either one of those can be a 2, or I'm just not seeing what prevents 2-ness. Makes me interested in what's going on down here. One of these has a 1. Wait, what did I do? Did I do something bad? There's a 3 in column 3 already. There is a 3 here. Wait, what? Oh gosh, good grief. Thank you. Yes, obviously. I was just saying if this is a 2, this couldn't be a 1 because of that 1, but obviously can't be a 3 either. Good grief. Okay, thank you. That felt like what I was supposed to look at, and then I just completely glossed over it. Okay, thank you for that. So we have our 1s and 2s across the top of the world. I'm a little curious about where 1 is going to exist in this land. We know it's not here because we can't get low enough. We know it's not here because there's already a 1 on the sequence. In fact, we just know this is 2, 3, 4, right? Or sorry, 3, 4, 5. This little triple because it already has a 1 on it, and that's not a 3 because of that 3, and that's not a 3 because of that 3. So that's the only place the 3 can go, and we get a 4, 5 pair. So we definitely don't have a 2. There's no 2s allowed in here. This music also not good. That seems a little bit interesting in terms of 2-ness. Down here, maybe. There's no 2 over here. There's no 2 here. There's no 2 in the cage, right? I'm saying there's no 2 inside this cage because I'm touching this cage and I'm touching this cage, right? This 2 touches this cage, so there's no 2 in there. So that's the only place a 2 can go. That C's a 2, so one of you people is a 2. 2 is down here somewhere. The reason we don't like 2s. Takes 8 off of that. 7 and 3 are off of that. So this is 6, 4 or 1, 9. Oh, you know what? Okay, never mind. It doesn't work in this case, but actually this, there's some, maybe it's never possible, never mind. But I just caught myself for a second saying I couldn't have double 5, which I obviously can't because of the box rules, but the cage doesn't rule that out. Because cages, these volt cages do allow repeat digits. So there's some weird possibility, I guess there never is because it would always see it, but just something to remember that. Oh, well, this 2 sees this cage. So that's not a 2. We don't know if this 2 is in or out of that cage. We know 2 is down here somewhere. Well, we should think about this 5. This is always going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4 to sum to 5. This can't be a 1, so this can't be a 4, and this can't be a 2, so this can't be a 3. So it's either 1, 4 going that way, or 2, 3 going that way. So this is not a terribly high digit. It's a 2, there's definitely a 3 on it, which is the 3 would have to go there. There is, by the way, definitely a 3 over here, and it's not here. This 3 is okay with either the 2 or the 4. Okay, but this volt is seen, so this is the 3, but I think that's still okay. Is that still okay? I think it is. This 2 is funny. Well, let me think about this for a second. Maybe that's not that interesting. It just kind of ends up seeing a lot of things because it touches this cage and it touches this cage. But then also this rim band kind of makes it peek in there, so. But I don't know that that is immediately important. Is it? The 3 is certainly up here. And it's certainly not there. So one of those is a 3. If that was 3, that would be 2. Well, if this is 2, then it's 2, 3, 4, or 3, 2, 1, right? So that makes this a 4 or a 1. If this is 4, 3, this could be 3, 2, 1. It could be 2, 3, 4. It could be 3, 4, 5. It could be 4, 3, 2, but it actually can't be the 2. So this can only be 1, 4, or 5, and it's not 5. So we already said that actually, right? That this was either 6, 9, or I'm sorry, either 6, 4, or 1, 9. I guess we didn't know the order before, but now we think we know the order. This is the lowish side. That makes this pretty high. So this is high. 6, 5, 4, 3. So we can't have a 2 here. So that does put the 2 here, which puts the 2 here, which puts the 4 here, which goes with a 1. I feel like every other song is terrible. Right? So we get the 5 sum, we get the 3. No, shoot, what did I do? The 2 in row 9 was not. Row 9, column 7. Why did I think that was forced? Yeah, it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. That was completely wrong. Okay, sorry about that. That was, I don't know why I guess I just missed this pencil mark, which is silly because there's also a 2 right there. This 2 was forced though. We feel comfortable with that. With 2 and a 3 on here. One of these digits is a 5. Right? One of these digits is a 4 and one of these digits is a 5. But I'm going to see that. Do we miss any sums? This 7 is not so this 7 is not 3, 4, so it's either 5, 2 or 1, 6. If this can't be a 2, this can't be a 5. So it could be 5, 2 going this way, or it could be 1, 6. Does that make anybody mad in terms of the cage? Still need our 1 in this column. So still I need our 9. This is not very high. Do we know where the 9 goes? It's not where the 2 is. It's not there. That's not a 9. I guess we don't really know. Maybe that was not a useful thing to think about. Are those all of our labeled cages? This feels like there are implications here that I'm not fully appreciating. Three is pretty limited in this box. Yeah, it's like truly every other song is bad. I wish if we could just skip every other song. Maybe this song's gonna be bad. Yeah, so the well, okay, yeah. So the I'm struggling with where to look because I think there's lots of places there's pressure on threes because of that very reason. Let's just start here because there's no 3 there or there. This can't be a 3 because it would be touching a cage with a 3 in it. Is that the best we can do here? Oh my gosh. Okay, we broke our streak. This song is also bad. Can we do better than that? Not sure. up here. We can't have a 3. We can't have a 3. Yeah, that's not a 3. So we also get a little... There's no 3 in here. Okay, that's good. So there's a 3. Let me just make sure I did that right. There's no 3 here. There's no 3 here. 1 is not a 3. We can't... This 3 sees this whole cage. So 3 is here, which means 3 is not here, which means this is the 3, which does push 3 up. I feel like we thought that was then going to end up as a 3. No. Sorry, that's not true at all. 3 is here. 3 couldn't be there. 3 is down here, but 3 sees this cage, so it's not there. 3 actually also sees this cage, so it's not there. So that's the 3. So that's not a 3. So this... Is this the 3? I think it is. Which has to go with the 2 to sum to 5, so that's not the 2. So 2 is down here somewhere. We have the 3 down here. Feels like something's going on. That's a 2, that's a 5. Also probably need to remember to think about... There's definitely 6 on here. I don't know anything about 6s. This song is not very good. Digits can repeat in cages. Oh, did I say something bad about digits not repeating in cages? Okay, did I... Digits definitely can repeat in cages. Oh, I ruled out 3s because... Wait, I did? I ruled out this 3 because it touched this 3. This 3 touched this cage. I thought is why I ruled that out. Oh, in box 1? How did I rule the... Now who knows how I ruled those ones. How did I do that? How did I rule those out? I said in this box, there's no 3s here. There's no 3s here. This 3 touches this cage, and this was a 1. I think that was right. Hey, Skojo, how's it going? Okay, it's all good. I just want to make sure I'm not making silly mistakes any more than normal. Okay, so what were we just thinking about? We were thinking about 1s and 2s we know quite a lot about, but I guess not quite enough. If this is a... Oh, okay, we do know this. We know this is a 2, because if this is a 4, what do we put here? Right? You could have 1, 2, 3, but this could be 4, 3, 2. No, 3, 4, 5. No, so this is the 2. That's not the 2. That still lets this be 1 or 4, annoyingly. I think. It does... Did I remove these pencil marks? I feel like I had some 2 pencil marks down here. Right, we said these 3s. And not these 3s, so this 3. I don't know why my redo button was not as aggressive as it should have been. That's funny. Well, we learned the other side of this anyway. So there's 2 ways to arrive at this 2, apparently, because we also knew it coming from the other direction. I forgot about that. Those 3s up there don't seem to be doing any harm. The thing I was just thinking about with 2s, this 2 prevents any 2s in box 4, right? Because if I put a 2 here, it sees this 2 just by Sudoku, but then it sees this vault, so we couldn't have that 2. So I don't think that's allowed to be a 2. So I think this is the 2, so this is the 5. So this is a 2. That's lovely. I feel like we haven't had a lot of that particular kind of logic. Maybe we have, but I really like that kind of thing where it's... I love that kind of thing, actually, where it's like a sneaky exclusion. I feel like there's another puzzle where that comes... some other variant where that comes up a lot. Anyway, I like that, where it's where things seem... I mean, like a... you know, Knight's puzzles are like that often, where something sees something that isn't necessarily obvious seeing, but it's such a... it's so chaotic in this puzzle. What were we talking about? It is a little hard. I guess it's not that hard. Let's say it's a little hard to have a 9 in this neighborhood. Because 9's not on this line with the 2, but I think all of these actually could be a 9. So maybe that's not very insightful. That does put 8s in there though, right? Like 8s. These people are not 8s. 8 cannot be here with a 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This can't be higher than 6. So one of these is an 8, I think. I don't know if that's important to anybody. It's probably not. We're also going to have a... like, wherever we put the 1 and the 9 in here have pretty major repercussions, right? Let's think about 1s just for a moment. So that's not a 1. 1 sees all these. 1 touches this cage. So that's not a 1, and that's not a 1. So the 1 in this box is in here, but I guess it could still be on this. I was trying to figure out if we could figure out which line the 1 was on, but it's still okay for 1 to be on here, I think. 1 to be on... 1... oh, okay. 1 can't... gosh, interesting. Okay, 1 can't be on here. Neither of these can be a 1, because if you have a 1 on this rim band, we have to have a 2, right? And there's no 2 here. That 2 sees that, and this 2 sees both of those. So I don't think any of these can be the 1. So I think that is the 1. And we already have 1, 2, 3, so this is another 4, 5 pair. So we get a 4, 5 pair in the column. So this turns out to be the other 1 for our 1, 2, 3. That's nice. So we still have a lot of high digits to deal with in here, which feels like it's getting hard. I guess it's not. I guess both of these lines could be and probably have to be high. We know there's a 3 on this line. In fact, and a 4 and a 5. But the 3 is not here, and the 3 is not here, so this is the 3. Which kind of feels like we should have known that in some other way. Does that give us all the 3s? All these 3s. We get the 9 here from that 1. So this is 6, 7, 8. These fellows are quite high. So we need the other half of the 4, 5 and the other digit of the 6, 7, 8 triple. Other half of the 4, 5. This has to be very limited. Is this just 6, 8? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. Yeah, so this is just a 6, 8 pair. It's not tremendously helpful. Makes me think the 9... yeah, right. The 9 has to live with one of those. The 9's not going to be here with the 2. So the 9 has to go with the 6, 8. So one of those is the 9. 1? Where's 1 in here? Oh, never mind. Okay, well, we can do some So there's no 1 in there, obviously. There's no 1 there. 1 sees this cage. There's no 1 there. 1 is not 4 or 5. 1 is not 4 or 5. So that puts over 1 here inside the vault, which is fine. 1 down here is not there or there. This 1 sees this vault, so it's not there. There's no 1 there, so 1 is over here, so that's not the 1, so this is the 1. And these ones both seem allowed. 1's up here. It's not there by both Volt and Sudoku rules. 1 is not on a Renban with a 7. Or not a 4-cell Renban with a 7, so that's the 1. And then 1 is here or here. Oh, well, we could have seen that anyway. Maybe we couldn't. I guess technically we didn't have to have a 1 here. And we can say if there is a 1 on this Renban, it has to be here. But for this to be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, we just can't ever have a 1 here. So there's no 1 on that Renban. So that is a 1. So we get 1, 2, 3. We got our 4, 5 pair again. There's all these secret 4, 5 pairs leaping out of the shadows. Oops. Which is nice. We got all these 4s and 5s inside the cage. That seems reasonable. We have a 1 here, which is going to rule 1s out. But is that just all of our 1s anyway? Yeah. So we have all of our 1s, all of our 2s, all of our 3s. And we have a number of 4 or 5 pairs. Just thinking about so thinking about 5s in here. There's no 5 there, and these digits are not 5, and 5 sees this cage. So we know 5 is here in the column. Five could go with that 7. Well, there's absolutely every one of these rim bands has a 5 on it, so or every one of these 5-cell rim bands, and this 4-cell rim band has a 5 because there's a 7. I guess it doesn't have. Actually, we don't have to have a 5 here because it could be 9, 8, 7, 6 if we could get a 9 on that. Anyway, that does let us squish a 5 up here, I think. So that means there is absolutely a 5 in this cage, this vault. But maybe that doesn't actually matter. I was hoping that would cause concern. But maybe it doesn't. Okay, well, what else do we know a bit about? Still really one, two, three. The other half of the 4, 5. Maybe a number of places. This digit sees 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Sees 1, 2, 3, sees 4, sees 5. So this is a high digit, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not a 7, because we have a 7 right there. So it's 6, 7, 8, or 9. So the range is somewhat limited. It could still be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, this digit. Is that true? This digit could still be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It could be a 5 if that's a 6. It could be a 9 if that's an 8. It's never a 7. So it's on the high side of things. We have some high digits we have to deal with in this box. We have 1, 2, 3. Maybe we have a 4. We have a high digit here. Four. Yeah, okay. 4. Oh, you have a complicated way to show row 6, column 3 is not 5. Row 6, column 3 is not 5. Wait, that's row 6, column 3. Sorry. Row 6, column 3. If this is not 5. Is that 4, 5? That would force this to be a 4, which would force this to be a 5. Is it because of the way all of the pairs unfold? Okay, maybe I'll come back to that. I feel like I have lower hanging fruit with the 4s right now. Because the 4 in here, well, we'll see. We'll see if this even matters. But 4 is not in whatever this is, box 6. 4 is not there. 4 is not here or here. 4 is also not here because 4 sees this volt, and that's not a 4. So one of these digits is a 4. Now, how much does that matter? I don't know. There's also a 4 down here. So there's definitely a 4 in this cage. So this definitely sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, also sees 9. So this is just 6, 7, 8. Not 9, which means this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but not 9. So this is high-ish, but it's going to push a 4 up here. Do we care about that? If we make this a 4, we have 2 5s here, but maybe that's okay. 4 still seems allowed. Yeah, all these 4 5s are, at the moment, allowed. Okay, I may have to come back to what you were pointing out up there. I'm losing steam. I was hoping we could... We've forced a 4 into this cage, and we forced a 5 into this cage. I was hoping that by forcing 4s into cages, we would be limiting their placement elsewhere, which maybe we have done, but I don't think I'm seeing it right this second. Like, this is not a 4. Well, maybe that's useful, actually. Okay, so nah, maybe it's not useful. 4 over here. You're not a 4, you're not a 4, you're not a 4. This is not a 4 because it's touching a cage that definitely has 4s in it. But I think we are still allowed... I think that's not as helpful as I had momentarily thought. I didn't think about just cage contact. I mean, the 4s really feel... There's pressure on the 4s. I feel like I'm missing... no 4s in there. You people are not 4s. But we haven't cornered the 4s quite enough. We have. This is not a 4. This is not a 4. This is not a 4 because this 4 touches this cage, right? Okay, good. Let's just back up a little bit. 4 in box 2. There's no 4s up there. That's not a 4. This can't be a 4 because the 4 is touching that cage. So we are definitely saying 4 is down here. So we are definitely saying 4 is up here. Did we have something better than that? 4 is definitely up here. 4 is definitely in this cage. I feel like I'm like just skirting right by, just managing to very conveniently miss the point here. There's definitely 6 on this somewhere, right? We just don't know much about 6s yet. 4s feel like the most fruitful thing at this moment to me. If this is a 5, this is absolutely a 6. It feels like I can almost like feel the thing. There's something that's going to get excluded in a substantial way, I feel like, given what I have currently. That's what it feels like, at least. Like I'm not going to be able to place something because it will be excluded. Yeah, okay. Right. I don't know if this is the thing, but this is kind of, yeah, what I'm trying to start to look for, at least, is that 7 touches this cage. This 7 touches this cage, so this is definitely not 7. But we know there's a 7 on this rim band because there's a 9 on it, so we definitely know one of those is a 7. Which means we know that's not a 7. Annoyingly, okay, that means this can't be an 8. Right? This could be 6, 5. It could be 7, 6, or 7, 8. This could be 5, 6, 6, 7. But this could be 8, 7. This can't be 8 anything because this doesn't have a 7 or 9. So that's not 8. So that's 6, 7. So we're getting a bit more constrained in the column. We know our 4 is here. Is 7 going to be the thing? I keep thinking it's going to be 4, but maybe it's not. Well, yeah, right. This is, we have a 1, 2, 3. We have a 4, 5 pair, and we have a 6, 8 pair. So this is a 7, 9 pair. And, oh gosh, they don't quite. I was hoping they were going to both. They were both going to touch something, but they don't. Whichever, whatever digit this is ruled out of these, out of that volt. Whatever digit this is ruled out of this volt. So we have 7, 9, 4, 5. So what's left here? 6, 8. So we do get a 6, 8 pair here, which is kind of interesting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. So we have 4, 5, 7, 9 to place here. This 4 is seen by that. This is not a 4. Somehow we said there's 4 down there. I don't remember how we said that, but anyway. 6, 8 pair, 4, 5. I feel like I've lost the thread a little bit. Things were going really smoothly, and then I'm just missing something. I feel like there's a big exclusion that I'm failing to recognize. Like some very substantial exclusion. Yeah, well, that's an exclusion, because if there's no 9. Yeah, okay, that's kind of interesting. 9 in column 3 is not here, because it's not 1 or 3, and it sees that 9. This 9 sees sees all of these, sees all of those. And 9 is not a 2. So one of these digits is definitely a 9. One of those digits is definitely a 9. if this is the 9, this has to be an 8. And actually, if this is an 8, this has to be a 9. But couldn't this be like 5, 6, and this the 9? So that puts some pressure on where 9 goes over here. Okay, that's kind of cool. So 9 in this box is, we've just said it can't be there. So 9 is there or there, which is not a very useful layout, except 9 is definitely in this vault. We definitely have 9 in the vault here. So down here, we've already said that 9 is up here. So there's no 9s in here. Those aren't 9s. And this is seen by 9. And this, if we try to put a 9 here, it's going to see the vault. Like, it will see both of these 9s. So we can't put a 9 there. So there is a 9 here. So 9 is there. I wonder if we ever thought there could be a 9 in here. 9, that puts 9 down here. Which feels like we should know something about that. Right? Doesn't it feel that way? Where's the 9 in this column? Maybe, I don't know. Where's the 9 in this column? That feels like that could be a 9 as long as all these are sufficiently high. This seems like it could be a 9. This could be a 9 as long as those are sufficiently high. Like, one of these is gonna have a 9. Man, that is sort of interesting. Maybe it's not that interesting, or maybe we already thought about it enough, but the 9, I just think about where 9 goes in here. It's going to be on a rim band that forces the arrangement to the rim band. That's going to be true here and here. Like, one of these, there's a 9 in here somewhere, and there's a 9 in here somewhere. Problem is, this pair kind of makes it seem like it could go either way. Okay, but that was kind of useful to start hemming in the 9s a little bit, at least. Do we know? It's kind of interesting. I want to think about some of these places where we've kind of like cornered things a little bit. Like, the positions for 9 in here are just weird. Oh, lame layout. And unfortunately, we can't quite say, like, this doesn't see this orthogonally, so we can't rule out because of that 9. There's certainly a 9 here. Do we know? One of these is absolutely a 9. Got too many pencil marks now. We know anything about this? We know 7 is in there. And 4 is up here. We were making some headway with 4s once upon a time in a bygone era. I'm sure at this point that I'm just missing obvious exclusions, right? Doesn't that feel like the problem right now? Yeah, okay, that's a fun one. The is this a 7? We've said that 7. This is great. Blobz, love this. As long if I'm right. If I'm not right, I don't love it. But if I try to put a 7 here, I see this digit just by Sudoku, and I see this digit by cageness, and then there's nowhere to put a 7 in there. So I'm going to say that's the 9 and that's the 7. I should have seen that a long time ago. That is not a 7. That forces the 7. You're the 7. That's a 6-8 pair. That is beautiful to see. Like that. Yeah, that is very nice. The that kind of sneaky peeking is pretty good. I'm doing a bad job of seeing the sneaky peeks, but what are you gonna do? This is not an 8 because there's no 7 or 9 up there. So that is 6 or 9. This is not 6. Why could that? That probably hasn't been 6 for a long time, has it? I don't actually remember why. 6 means we've ruled 4 out of this, which we have, and we've ruled 7. Sorry, 5 out of this, which we have, and 7 out of this. So I guess that makes sense. So this is not 6. That is 5 or 8. 6-8 pair here. Just thinking about 6s. That 9 should have forced a 9 somewhere, shouldn't it have? Yeah. We need a 9 in this column, and it can't be on that rim band. So this is the 9. So that is not the 9. Oops. So that is the 9. So that is an 8, because it has to be. That makes this a 6-8 pair, and we have the 8. So that is 6, and that is 8. That is 6. That is 8. That is 6. 8. That is 7. That is 6. Or not 7. It's so possible to have a. It's not. Okay. It's falling apart. The whole puzzle is unraveling, but still somehow I don't see all these 4 5s. We kind of do though. We are down to 4 5 here, but we have a 9 on this. There's definitely a 5 on here. It's a requirement. But I don't think we can have a 4 with the 9. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We can never have the 4. So we get the 5. So maybe we finally unravel the mystery. We do get a double 5 here, which for some reason I thought was going to happen. We do get. Wait, are we forcing this to be 5? We are. Wait, what are you? Oh, you were telling me that this couldn't be a 5, right? Which you saw hours ago, years ago at this point. Ellen Tomasi, head of the curve. We get a 6-8 pair here, so what are you? You just are the 4. Paranoid now that I'm going to accidentally place something that violates voltitude. In fact, there's probably some things that we could exclude based on that. You require an 8. 6 goes with 7, so that's promising. That forces the 7 and the 9 up here, so this is a 9-7 pair. Is that true? Somehow we said 9 was down here, and who knows why. I don't remember. I'm hoping that's true, which means we're just missing 6 here. So 6 is here. Oops. But 6 sees this volt. So that's not 6, this is 6. And this is 4, 5, 7. That is not 5, also not 5. Oh, we apparently had a million 5s. Okay. So that's not the 5. 5, that's a 5 in here somewhere. There's already a 5 on that rim band. So that's a 5. This is 7, 8, 9. This sees 7 and 9, so that's the 8. That gives a 7, 9 pair there. And then we're missing the 8 over here. Life is yours. How's it going, buddy? 16-month streak. Look what I got. I don't know if you can tell. A Pi 5. Am I going to like it? I don't know. I just wish Unity... just wish Unity had ARM64 Linux build capability. We're missing an 8 here. We're missing an 8 down here. But 8 sees this cage, this vault. Well, these vaults are cages. I guess it's both. This is a 4-6 pair. Oops. We already have a 4 on this rim band, so that's a 6. It's interesting how often the rim bands are causing exclusions. I don't really think of that. That's funny. This still could be 5 or 9 now. No. This is definitely 5 because we have to bridge to the 4. I don't really think of rim bands as that kind of exclusion very often. Of like, oh, we can't do this because we already have this on the rim band. Maybe it's more common than I'm thinking of, but it's just not my like normal mental model of where rim bands are useful. I think I'm on record with rim bands being on their own one of my least favorite constraints, but it's interesting, but they can be very interesting in terms that they play with other constraints. But a puzzle that's just like just rim bands, not my favorite. Build my own game engine. I don't really want to. I mean, if Raylib just worked the way I want it to. Raylib, it's a bummer because the Raylib seems generally okay, and my prototype worked generally okay. It just wasn't loading GLTF file textures properly, and that was enough to like erode my confidence in it, right? It's like, if you can't even load this model in a way that seems like it should not be hard to load this model, I do not trust that I will be able to do what I need to do with this engine that is more complicated. I trust 3JS very highly, just because I've used it a ton and it's been used very widely. But I don't really want to have to run stuff in a web browser. I will if I need to. Godot? I don't run Godot. No way. Also, I don't know that Godot's build support for ARM Linux is especially robust. Anyway. I looked into it briefly. I believe it is possible now, but I don't think of that as it. That did not seem to be at least a robust target. I'm really not anti-Godot broadly. I just don't really want to use it. Okay, did this in less than an hour, which is good. It probably should have been way faster. Thanks, Ellen Damasi. That was lovely, Blobz. I'm gonna do the other one. That only took an hour, so obviously I'm on a roll. So let's do the other new, that was the wrong button. The other new Blobz. I mean, okay, well, two things. Sorry, to be clear, one of the goals I have is to not have to run X11, which is why I was interested in Raylib. If I do, I guess in Unity I'd have to. So in Godot, I guess I'd have to as well, right? I don't know, like, there is that, whatever it's called, DRM or DMR, direct media render or something. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm just not very, I don't know. I don't really want to use Godot. This would be, maybe it's fine. I just don't know that I necessarily trust it, because this needs to be pretty bulletproof. Do I consider 3JS running inside Chrome in kiosk mode bulletproof? Maybe. I'd rather just run Unity. Okay, that was lovely. Some of the kinds of pressure that came off that puzzle were really amazing. Let's do this other. I mean, I always run into this problem. I run into this problem continuously. It's like, ah, man, what do I want to use for graphics for a given project? And if I could just always use Unity and not care, that would be very appealing to me. Which is why I was looking at that Latte Panda. Okay. So, just as I'm on record saying rim bands in isolation are among my least favorite constraints, German whispers among my favorite. Love a German whisper. So, looks like the volt rules are the same, and then it's just a German whisper. We have a lot more sums this time. A lot of them are tens, though, which are not my favorite. In fact, it looks like we have no gimme sums, right? Yeah, just trying to look. This little arrangement of 3 8s definitely. Well, okay, this is slightly, well, whatever. We know this already. This is tautological statement that one of these is high and one of these is low. We already know that. All this really rules out as 3 5. We can't have double 4. It's not 3 5. So this is either 1 7 or 2 6 for this particular one, which is interesting because it sees whatever this is going to be. So in other words, normally with a 2-digit 8, we would say like, well, that can be 1 7, or it could be 2 6, or it could be 3 5, right? Which is a whole lot of options. But whatever this is going to see. Oh, it's probably not worth pencil marking yet, but whatever this is going to see. In fact, it's, well, right. Okay, that's fair to say. Whatever this is ruled out of this for sure. It could still be here. No, it's ruled out of this for sure as well. And then these are obviously two different things. So I guess what I'm saying is we need all three versions of how to make 8 in 2 digits, right? Is that what I'm trying to say here? One of these is going to be 1 7, one is going to be 2 6, one is going to be 3 5. That will be a requirement here. Yeah, you can't have 3 5 here because 5 is not allowed on this green line. Oh, sorry, did I type that wrong? Sorry. I meant to type 3 5 and typed something incorrect. 1 7 2 6 3 5. Can't have double 4. That can't ever be 5. I guess the point is one of these is definitely 3 5, I think, right? Because don't we need all 3 flavors? There's only 3 flavors of 2-digit 8, and I think we need all 3. So one of these is going to be 3 5, which means there's no 3 on this rim band, which is not a useful statement. This, in terms of, I'm sorry, not rim band, German whisper. In terms of German whisperness, unfortunately, we also can't rule things out because this could be a 6. Oh no, good grief. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's easier than that, and it was handed to us on a silver platter. This can't be 6 2 because 6 is not 5 away from 2. So 6 is not allowed. The 6 2 sum to 8 is not allowed here. So this definitely is 1 7, which is fine. In fact, it's the only 8 sum that would be allowed on a German whisper is 1 8, because both 5 3 is only 2 apart and 6 4 is only 4 apart. So that means that we do know these, and this is 5 plus 3 and 6 plus 2. We don't know the order, but we know all of that. We know that if this is a 7, this has to be a 1 or a 2, and it can't be a 2 because we've said the 2 is over here, but annoyingly I think it could be a 1. If this is a 1, this could be 7, 8, or 9. Could be a 6. So I was hoping we'd kind of learn polarity from that, but and maybe we have, and I'm just not seeing it yet. We did get a nice quadruple over here. We know that these digits are from 1 7 8 9. But that seems okay.
Wait, that's not true at all. That's completely not true. 1, 4, 7, 8, 9. Okay, well, let me think about that for a second. We also have to remember these. We can't forget about volt logic, which I've kind of glossed over in my brain. You could also think about this. This unfortunately also has 3 options: 1, 6, 2, 5, and 3, 4, which don't immediately seem ruled out. But just think about the 4 for a second. 4 is not there. 4 is never in a sum, a 2-digit sum for 8. And 4 is not here because it would need 9s on both sides. And 4 is not here because it would need 9s on both sides. So 4 is definitely here. Or here. Which is maybe not that useful, because that means 4... Yeah, shoot. These don't quite fully see... There's definitely pressure on this, but not... I mean, in terms of volt logic. I'm tempted to go around and just do the initial coloring of this. Life is yours. What are you up to lately? What are you doing with your life? This song is terrible, but I also think I might love it. Did I do this right? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. No, yes, 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 no. Okay, start with those colors for now. Azure, wait, when did this happen? I thought you were an app developer. I just wanted to do that. I just wanted to do that. I wanted to do that to think a little bit about polarity, because there's definitely going to be a 5 in this neighborhood, but doesn't mean one of you people are the 5. So this is the only place we really get a rim band going through one of our... So we feel like that is definitely 1-7 pair. Four is a little restricted. The 6 we don't have to worry about because it's definitely not on the rim band. Well, maybe it's a little interesting to think about 6s. Well, maybe it's not. Like this. Yeah, okay. Well, Like this is slightly interesting because it can't be a 6 if that's a 6. This can never be a 6, basically. Because if this is 6-2, it just sees it. But even if there's a 6 here, it will see this cage. So these digits kind of have a lot of like insight in here. I hate that stuff. And I just, this is slightly tangential, but I was just running into Solitile. Thanks for the follow. You know, I'm working with the Children's Museum again, and they use Microsoft Teams and whatever dumb Azure stuff behind the scenes for user management. And I can't, this is insane to me. Normally as a contractor, if somebody invites me to like their Skype or whatever their tools that they use, like whatever their platform is, what Notion or Airtable or whatever, they can invite me to use it and they pay for it. Teams is the only thing I've ever used where I was invited by a client and then it just didn't work in like an extremely broken way, where like the Mac app would be like, you're offline. and the website wouldn't connect, the iOS apps didn't work. Like, it was just fully broken until I found deeply in Microsoft support. And obviously Microsoft, it wasn't that they were helpful, it was that someone had figured it out and posted it. It was like, this is insane. You can't sign on to this even as an invited guest independent contractor unless you have your own Teams license. So I had to go pay for Teams to be able to join their team, and it never gave me anything remotely useful. Like, it is maybe among the most useless error messages I've ever seen in my life. It was so shockingly bad. Shame on you, Microsoft. You should be embarrassed. Okay. Anyway, 6s in here. We were just thinking about 6s, and I was just saying that this is never a 6. But I don't know that that matters to anyone. This is never a 6 because that would be double 1. This is never a 6 because that would be double 1. Annoyingly, these could be 6 because if we have a 6 here, it's not adjacent. And it's been a while since I've had one of those kind of brain. I mean, it's very frustrating because, one, I didn't choose that. And I'm just invited to try to work with them, and I lost hours probably of time. Fortunately, on my Windows machine, and only on my Windows machine, I guess I had signed on before they changed that requirement, and so I had some authentication token or whatever that allowed me to sign on. But the errors were so astonishingly useless. And to make it worse, when I tried to actually go buy the license, which is insane that I, as a guest in an organization, would have to pay any money to talk to that organization, even that was broken initially. So awful. Microsoft is sometimes, yeah, I'm a long time hater of Microsoft, decades and decades of anti-Microsoft. And sometimes I like soften a little bit and I think, like, you know, maybe I should cut them some slack. This is not the Gates era. This is not the Ballmer era. Microsoft seems to have improved as a company in recent years. And then it's garbage. It's still just garbage. And then I get the forced Windows 11 update on my other machine this morning with stupid built-in Copilot. Like, whenever that stuff happens, I start to lean towards the dark side of, like, what if I did just run Linux on a desktop? We're not there yet because I need to, like, actually do work, but man, so bad. That was just like, it's hard for me to imagine how it could be that was that stupid. I hate all identity management. All of that stuff is always so bad. Whether, like, all the whatever like that. I don't know. How do you say it? I always say I am. I don't know if that's actually right. You can tell I'm not like a professional back-end AWS person, but like the IAM services, like who are these people services, always hate that stuff. Just go back to just a password file. etc password. Good. Done. If you're in that file, you're a user. If you're not in that file, you're not a user. Get out of here. I also just don't. It all sucks, actually. Maybe it's a little better. I'm behind the times, especially with stuff like authentication and pass keys and all this stuff people do now. But I like all user management has always sucked, always, since the dawn of time. You know what else sucked? Oh man, I'm about to go off on an extreme rant of how much garbage is stored on my computer all the time against my will, and how much of that is wasted space for stuff that is cached that will never, ever, ever, ever be used in a billion years, to the point that it's like, we've known for a good 30 years that, like, oh yeah, caches are pretty helpful. Caches are not good if you never empty them, and temp folders are never good if you never, they're not temporary if they're there permanently. Like, I feel like every operating system at the OS level should have a caching mechanism that has an expiration time. That in like some cleanup system, and that you're just not allowed to put garbage on my computer unless you broker through this caching system that can just instantly wipe away all the garbage anytime I want it to. As it stands on Windows, there's like 89 different places. Just going through with WinterStat a little while ago, trying to find the thousands of places that random different programs stick random different cached data, taking up gigs and gigs and gigs of data. It's so frustrating. Shame on all of you, especially Adobe and Autodesk. Adobe in particular, super awful about just cramming garbage all over your hard drive. Even if you install to another hard drive, it will still store gigs of garbage on your system drive. Angry. I'm getting so angry. App data? App data what? App data roaming? App data local low? One or the other, then crammed in some hierarchy inside that? Or is it in some dot file? In like, I truly like 20 different places I had to go delete random temp and cache folders. So no, it's not just app data, and that's not helpful anyway, because there's stuff in app data that is potentially useful. You can't just blow that away. I would open Winterstat and go through that, but I would probably dox myself in some horrible way. But anyway, we know these are pretty low digits, right? Just in thinking about that. I mean, they're not especially high digits. Problem is, you could, one of these is going to be 6.1, or could be 6.1. Yeah, Unity's on the list of not just logs, but their package manager now also stores gigs of garbage inside there. But app data where? Which one? Local low or roaming? It sucks. It's bad hygiene. Okay. I'm becoming cross. What there's definitely some stuff ruled out of here. See, it's close. We know that in this column, whatever parity pink is, we've fully spoken for it. Right? We can't have another pink in this column because one of these, oh, that's, never mind. That's not true because there could be a 5. So that's not quite true. Because that could be 5.3, and if this is high, then there could be one more high digit. So never mind, that was a falsehood. Okay, sorry, I feel like Life Insurance is doing his job of making me furious at technology. There really is. Oh, there's the old Casey Muratori rant about the. Okay, I see things flying. We got to. What do we got to think about? There's that old Casey Muratori rant about like game. You know, the time when software just used to be basically it's a whole operating system. You would just stick in your the file. Stick in the floppy disk or whatever with the application you wanted to run, and it was basically it. It talked directly to the hardware. Sounds pretty good. Just think for the stuff I do now. I mean, all the embedded stuff, that's basically what I do, right? Whenever I'm doing stuff on microcontrollers, it's nice. I'm talking right to the hardware. It's pretty good. It's not strictly true anymore, especially on the ESP32. But it feels that way, right? Okay, I'm sorry. What are we doing here? We are doing... What are we doing? Just was thinking about whether or not we could roll one out of... Was there something down here we could surmise? You're going to sum to 10. It does limit where 5s can go here, right? Because there's not a 5 in this 10 cage, and there's no 5s here. So one of those digits is a 5, which is not... Yeah, get some RuneScape. Oh my gosh, I've been playing Yakuza 8. It is so good. It is such a good game. Like, upsettingly good. That game is so good that they just, like, add other versions of other games just to flex. To be like, not only is Yakuza 8, did I say 7? Yakuza 8, not only is it amazing, we added our own entire Pokemon game in it, and it's great. And we added our own entire Animal Crossing game in it, and it's great. It's pretty amazing. Okay, I've gotten so... We're falling apart here. We need... Problem is, we could still have... I was trying to say we could have high digits there. Okay, we gotta get our head back in the game a little bit. This still feels like the place that business is going on. Yeah, maybe I will. I've been playing it all on my Steam Deck. Oh my gosh, look at there's tomatoes everywhere. Is that Ellen Damasi furious at me for not thinking about Sudoku? Could be. Okay, let's get our head back in the game. So we have this 8. We have 2 flavors of 8 here. We have over here to place 1 and 7 and 4 and 9. 1, 7, 4, 9, and 8. Can this not be high? Okay, this red isn't high. Because if red is high, I need 2 low digits here. One of them could be 1. This can't be 2, because 2 is definitely over here. Can't be 3, because 3 is definitely over here. 4. So red is low. Is that what we're saying? We don't have enough. We can't flank this in low digits, because we used up our 2 and 3. We've used up 2 and 3, and 4 is not available. So is this low, and this is high? Hope that's right. Wait, I didn't even register that this was shaped like a coffee bean. That's embarrassing. Okay, this is a 7, so this is a 1 or a 2. It's not a 2, so this is just a 1. This is just 8 or 9 because 7 is here and 6 is in here. This is going to be funny in terms of... Okay, it should not have taken me that long to go start on this puzzle. I apologize. This seems to just be a 1 because it's the only low digit available here. Which is not very helpful. You are 2, 3, or 4. You're not a 4 because that would be double 9. This is 7, 8, or 9. It's not a 6 because it's not a 7 either. If it was 7, this would have to be a 1, 2 pair, which it can't be. That's not 7. So we have an 8, 9 pair here. This is 2, 3, not a 1, it's not a 4 because it'd be double 9, so that's also only 2 or 3. But this could be 6, 7, 8, or 9. Possibly. No, it can't be 6 because there's no 1 there, so that's 7, 8, or 9. Yeah, orthogonal means next to, yeah, as opposed to diagonal, exactly right. This is 6, 7, 8, 9. It could be 6 because that could be double 1s. Do we rule something out here? We haven't ruled 6. 6 could still just be there. 4 is in this neighborhood somewhere. 5 is in this neighborhood somewhere. And then the remaining high digit is in this neighborhood somewhere. This is just 1, 2, 3, 4, annoyingly. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, annoyingly. There's no reason to pencil mark those. We got to start paying attention, though, to our volts. Suddenly got really warm in here. Boy, man. Boy, are you okay? Come say hi to everybody. So it was too cold, so we had to turn on the heater. Boy, man. You're a good bear. Oh. You want to come chill out here? Okay. I did! You missed it. We talked about it earlier and he was cold. We had to go warm him up.
It's my assistant. Okay, what were we doing? We were needlessly pencil marking things. Are you okay? What's the matter? What's the matter? You nervous up there? Okay, he's okay. What are we doing? Right, we were just labeling things that didn't need to be labeled. This is 2, 3, or 4. It can't be 1. These are 2, 3, 4. This is not a 4 because that would be bad. This is not a 4 because that would be bad. So we get a 2, 3 pair here. So this is not 2 or 3. And if that can't be 2 or 3, this can't be 5 or 6. I recommend it. It's helpful. It's a helpful person. Okay, so what did that do for us? Is it? Well, it gave us some lowness to think about, which is kind of nice. Where is your 4? Your 4 is up here. So one of those digits is 4. This is tricky. This 8, 9. This cage has an 8 and a 9 in it, right? There's definitely an 8 and a 9 inside here. So this can't be 8 or 9. So that is 6 or 7. So if it's 6, so this can only be 1 or 2. It means, for example, what I just did is if I try to put a 9 here, which is orthogonally touching this volt, it would break the puzzle because I know there's a 9 here. This is an 8, 9 pair, meaning one of these is 8 and one is 9. So if I ever put a 9 here, the puzzle's broken because that would mean that there's no 9s allowed in that cage at all. So that means that's low. That means that's 1 or 2. That means this can be kind of anything. That 8, 9 pair. I mean, you're right that it would already be excluded in the same cage, obviously, but it's more like parts of it that are outside of the cage. Like this, of course, would have seen just the 9, but I wouldn't know about the 8 or the 9, so I couldn't exclude it just from that. I don't know if I explained that very well. This is a 2 or 3, so this is not a 6. So this is, that's going to be kind of funny with that. This is 7, 8, or 9. This is also 7, 8, or 9. It's not a 7. Seven could still be okay with a 2 there. The 4 is kind of funny because the 4... Okay, that's what we want to... Oh, no, shoot. Never mind. I think the 4 could still be in there. We don't know if the 4 should be excluded or included. Okay, buddy? I think he was happier under the desk. Oh, here you go. Camera shy. No, I mean, this is a new rule set to me. This is the third puzzle I've ever done with it. And the second one was, 20 minutes ago. So it took me a while to wrap my head around this because normally cages, you like kind of train your eye to say you can never repeat digits in a cage, but in these volts, it is allowed. So it is kind of messing with my head a little bit too. This is kind of restricted, right? Because we know a 7 is either 1, 6, or 2, 5, or 3, 4, right? But this digit is not 1, and if that's not a 1, that's not a 6.
It's also not a 2 or a 3 because of this 2-3 pair. So if that's not 2, that's not a 5. And if that's not 3, that's not a 4. Somehow in my head I thought I had restricted it by one more digit than that. Maybe I didn't. We don't know that those are the same digit. Okay, I'm sure there's a lot more we could do just with German whispers that I'm failing to do. We know this is not a 1, so these aren't 6. So those are 7, 8s, or 9s. This could still be a 7 if that was double 2. This can't be a 6 because that can't be 1. It's not 7. So this is the other half of the 8-9 pair. Where is the 6 going to be in here? 5 could only be in here if it went with a 2. 5's definitely not there. Unclear. These cannot be 1, so there's 2, 3, 4, and in fact, this can't be a 4 because that would be double 9. So we get another 2, 3 pair here. That means this is not a 6, so that's 7, 8, or 9. It's only a 7 if this is a 1, 2 pair, which probably could be. This can't be a 4 though. This is 1, 2, or 3, and then this could be whatever, right? Could that be a 4? I guess it could be. Definitely have to think about exclusions here. As you can see, there's a, just like we did the 8-9 over here, there's a 2-3. This cage definitely has 2 and 3 in it. So we have to be a little cautious about where we place 2s and 3s, but I actually don't see immediately where that's a problem. We've got these 10 cages, which are not cool. 10 cages, among the least cool cages. I'd probably say a 9 cage is the least cool cage, but 10 cage, not cool. I guess we can think a little bit about this, but not that much, really. Well, okay, I'm not sure what to do with the second. We have a little bit of polarity. Now that you say that, it seems shocking to me that surely somebody has done a Nicolas Cage themed puzzle. Surely. Are we trying to say there's definitely a 7 over here? Or what? I guess it could be 6, 1, 1, and then like 8, 2, so I don't think we were saying that. I don't know, Blobz has done a lot of different, I don't know that I've seen Blobz do a celebrity themed puzzle. Except for me, obviously. I'm not a celebrity. I don't want to be a celebrity. Wait, Monroe? Which Monroe? Boy, you look like you're gonna fall. Are you just being a weird vulture? Marilyn Monroe? I feel like I've missed something. Okay. I really do feel like I have some degree of ADHD and that I've just like managed to cope with it into my 40s, but somehow life is yours. You're like a little ray of sunshine that just like pulls it out of me. You just like pull. You're very good at activating my attention issues. Speaking of, my watch just told me to stand up, so I'm going to stand up for a minute and I'm going to have a drink of water and I'll be right back.
here's an embarrassing thing that I'll tell you. You know, I have this Apple Watch had for some months now, and I generally like it in terms of stuff like that. I'm just like, hey, go stand up, get a drink of water, whatever. It's nice to have that nudge sometimes, but I'm pretty obsessive about like closing my rings. And one of the rings is the standing ring. And the problem is you can't just stand up. You have to stand up and move around, and even then it doesn't register. And so I've taken to like exhibiting like wilder and wilder movements every time it does that to me, just so I can like force it to recognize that I am in fact moving. And I've realized just in the last few days that if I just start wildly throwing punches, it will register it more quickly. So that is to say, basically once every hour, I just stand up and start wildly throwing punches, and Bowie just stares at me like I've lost my mind. I think he likes it, but yeah, you just gotta get up and throw some punches. I don't know why that is. Like, I've tried lots of different kinds of movement, whatever, jumping jacks, move around, lift your arms, whatever. Doesn't seem to trigger it, but just throwing some punches. You just do like the little like push-ups doesn't do it because your hand is pretty stationary. So push-ups seem to not trigger it. My brother had a problem, which is very funny. It doesn't happen to me, but on his, I guess he wears his watch kind of far up maybe, but he had a problem that every time he would do push-ups, it would press and hold the digital crown, which if you press and hold is the like SOS call 911 button. So I don't think it's just heart rate. I think there's all these like, it's some sensor synthesis thing, I'm sure, that tries to decide like, are you moving? Are you standing up? So maybe it's a combination of heart rate and movement, and I don't know. Anyway, it's my new strategy of punching invisible ghosts seems to be working well. This can't be, actually can be, no, it can't be a 6 because there's no 1 here. I'm sure there's, okay, we're doing this puzzle a disservice as usual, I feel like, but this can't be a 6. Let's just finish our futile pencil marks. This cannot be a 6. Okay, those are the really obvious limits. So we just need to really think about exclusions. For example, that's maybe not quite that useful. There's no 1 in there, obviously, but there's also no 1 here. But there could be a 1 there. Fingerprint reader? This doesn't have a fingerprint reader, but I don't ever care about that because all that locking and unlocking just happens automatically through my phone. I don't actually ever think about it. Like once a day I put it on, and then the first time I pick up my phone and authenticate with Face ID, it unlocks the watch. So I never really think about unlocking the watch. That works reasonably well. Oh, I see. It thinks it has been removed. That hasn't happened to me with this, at least not yet. Notice that the band is getting looser. Okay, sorry. So that was not actually that helpful. Is there anything else that might be helpful? Yeah, there's no 7s in here, which is almost helpful, but it still lets a 7 escape down there. We talked about the 2, 3 here. Oh, that is very cool, actually. Okay, this is probably the thing we're supposed to see. That this 7, this digit becomes a little bit difficult, I think. Well, let's just think about this digit for a minute. Those are normally the digits, oops, not 7, that we could have in this 7 cage, right? 1 plus 6, 2 plus 5, 3 plus 4. But we can't. There's definitely a 2-3 pair in here. So this definitely can't be 2 or 3. Is that the best we can do? I think unfortunately it is, because we don't know that the 4 is in here, do we? So maybe that's not quite as restricted as I was hoping. So if it's a 1, it's a 6. If it's a 4, if it's a 3. If it's a 5, it's a 2. And if it's a 6, it's a 1.
which doesn't even give us polarity. Never mind. Maybe that wasn't the thing to do. I mean, it did narrow things down a tiny bit, but this feels like this is going to be interesting just because it sees so much here. Yeah, like this digit, in fact, is a little funny. This digit, whatever it is, in this box is not there, and it sees the whole cage, so it's either there or there. The problem is I don't know that we know the polarity of it. Otherwise, that could be a sort of useful thing. I mean, there's definitely a low and a high digit in here, but we don't know. Maybe we do. Do we know that? Oh, 4 is kind of interesting in here. Did you really? You ordered a Quest 3? Did you really? I've thought about it. I have a Quest 3. I still have a Quest 2 for the job that I just did, but I'm sure I'm going to have to send it back to you. Okay, this is interesting for the 4 because we have said for some reason, yeah, that 4 is either here or here. Both of those see this cell. So that means we've fully ruled 4 out of all of those places. But maybe that's not actually interesting. Is it? It's definitely not in the cage, in that cage. Oh, you tried a Vision Pro? I keep almost sort of slightly entertaining the idea of getting a Vision Pro just to make something ridiculous. Interesting. I will probably end up getting a Quest 3 just because of if work goes the same way it has in recent years, which maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm sure. Yeah, I want to try a Vision Pro just to... The thing that bums me out about all of that release video for the Vision Pro was so lame just because they didn't show anything good. It was all rectangles. It was all just rectangles, except now the rectangles are in the air. It was embarrassing. At least in the early videos, they showed a lot weirder stuff like 3D video and gaming, but in the announcement video, they didn't show anything good. They just showed rectangular apps, except they're just floating in space. It was so lame. Jojo, how's it going? This was supposed to be me working on this puzzle, but it's just me getting angry at technology and yelling. So, Life is Yours is doing this to me. Do we have any other pairs like that? Like the 8, 9... But that isn't quite true. Like, I have professionally been making all kinds of things in VR for 10 years that are not a bunch of rectangles. There's plenty of stuff you could show, and they showed, like in the early announcement trailer, they showed stuff. Even though the sci-fi dystopian 3D video, but they didn't show any of that in the release video. It was lame. Speaking of Disney, that's an interesting thing. Like, Apple adopted the USD format, the Pixar format. You know, there's tons of shared history with Apple and Disney. Wait, the real Aladdin or the recent remake of Aladdin? If they went back and added 3D to the old one, that would be cool, but surely they did not. Okay, I'm sorry. We're getting very distracted. We have a high triple here. We have some low digits we have to address. But we don't. I don't think we quite know what to do with them. The new one. It feels like we should know more about ones than we maybe do.
at the moment. Okay, I'm sorry. I've definitely gotten very off track here. So, how restricted are you? You're not quite yet. If that was double 9, that could still be a 4. It would be great to get rid of that 4. The 4s are so silly. They're just like slinking around, escaping me at every turn. If that was a 4, that would definitely be a 3. That'd be 2 of our low digits. And then what would this be? It'd have to be a... I feel like there's something here that's not quite working. Like there's... sorry, just thinking in terms of low digits, it feels like something is not quite adding up down here. We have a low digit outside here. If we tried to do 4-3 to make the 7, this would definitely be 2. So we'd have 2, 3, 4 already spoken for, which would only leave 1, but we could still do 6 ones. Maybe it's actually fine. See, the problem, I shouldn't be working on it. I should be working on my new version of Sudoku for the Apple Vision Pro, Sudoku RTX, which is fully 3D, path traced, not ray traced, fully path traced Sudoku application. Like, just imagine the volume of these. Like these German whispers would become thick, rubbery tubes with subsurface, like light scattering. It would look incredible. You're not going to believe how good these tubes look. Okay, everybody. I'm definitely losing the thread a little bit. So we were trying to think about having a double low digit in here. There's at least one low digit in here, but there's a possibility that it's a double low digit. Volts next to volts can't have the same values. Volts only the adjacent digit. Like these two volts are adjacent, but it's really only these digits that impact the rest of the volt. You know, I don't know if I can announce that yet. I feel like one of the most interesting last year, for reasons that I have a hard time explaining why, I developed a great deal of expertise in 3D tubes. One of them was for that MLB AR thing that nearly killed me. That well, I just want to talk about that. Anyway, it's a job that nearly killed me. This app, this isn't the real, are those my tubes? Yeah, I think they are. So I was working on these like trajectory tubes that are like these real-time tubes for like in real time as someone hit a baseball during the All-Star game and the home run derby. So I went pretty deep on tubes there, but little did I know that my tube expertise would go so much further. But I don't think this is out yet. It's announced. Anyway, very soon, I believe this thing is going to be released, and you're going to be just wowed by my tubes. So any of this? Oh, when you get your Quest 3, you can enjoy my tubes. It's going to be very exciting. I don't think any of that stuff is visible yet. Anyway, probably not even supposed to say I worked on it. It's definitely announced. It's public knowledge. It's announced. Don't sue me. Got some nice pipes. They're pretty good. Beautiful. My tubes are better than this. My tubes. You're not going to believe my tubes. I really should. I should have made like a tube library. Licensed it. Okay, friends. I'm sorry. Getting very extra distracted today. We did well on the first puzzle, and then now I'm just falling to pieces. Okay, we're going to think about exclusions. I think. I'm just looking for places we've definitely cornered something.
or that we definitely know like a pair is in the box. Like we have this 8-9 pair, for example. Yeah, okay. So this digit, where is this digit in this box? It's going to be an 8 or a 9. It's not any of those because it will see it. These aren't 8s or 9s. These are 8s or 9s. This is not an 8 or a 9. So am I telling you that this digit can only go here? I think that's what I'm telling you. Oops. That this is an 8 or a 9. And if that's true, 4 can only go here. So we get a 4, which is so exciting. We had 4 here, 4 here, so that means there's definitely 4 down here, but 4 is touching this cage, so there's no 4 here. So this is the 4, which is exciting. One of you people is a 5. Yeah, this is cool. So 5 is down here somewhere. It all sees this cage, so there's no 5 there. So this is the 5, which is a gray by Terry Dutch Rules. Windows 95 had good screensavers. It had good wallpaper too. I know I say this every time, but that inside a computer wallpaper will forever be... Oops. This is what I should use AI for, is to upres this. This is the best wallpaper of all time. It was cool as hell. Love it. I think I saw the behind the scenes of that at one point. It was probably on stream, and I just can't remember anything. So good. It's classic. Yeah, that's not what the inside of a CRT monitor looks like at all, but doesn't matter. It still looks cool as hell. That is not a 4. So that is not a 3. So we did remove 4 and 3. So this is either 5-2 or 1-6 in some direction. Which means 3 is in this neighborhood somewhere. That means this is a high digit. It's not a 7. Because, well, for 2 reasons. One, it just sees the 7, but 7 also sees that cage. One of you people is a 7. So 7 is up here. And 7 can't be here because of that cage. So 7 is up here. If this was the 7, this would have to be a 5. Which is maybe... Okay. That's, it's funny you mentioned that. Speaking of capacitors, I was just thinking about a project I'm working on and how maybe, I don't know if this is probably not true, but just to say, it's the musical chair. Right now, the musical chair has a big goofy battery pack on it, like a, phone charger kind of battery pack, which is fine, but it takes a while to charge it. It's a little annoying, but I've heard I had an advisor in grad school. He used to be a Disney Imagineer, and he was telling me that they sometimes use supercapacitors instead of batteries because you can basically charge them instantly and then discharge them over time. So I was thinking of getting some large, dangerous capacitors. I don't even know how big of a capacitor. That's not big enough. I want a big, terrifying capacitor. But anyway, with these, with you can have 2 of these in series for 5 volts. And so if you can draw, whoa, look at that. Is that a huge one? They used to have really giant ones. Maybe they don't sell them anymore. Like if I was just dealing with an ESP32 that periodically had to turn on for like data logging or something, maybe I would do this, like a big monster capacitor. But the thing I need to do currently, I'm running a Raspberry Pi for the audio aspect of it, so Is this a good idea? Live visitors, it's been a while since you've given me some potentially risky electronics advice. But what if I just got giant, terrifying capacitors? Is that what's inside of a stun gun? Can I just take apart a stun gun? Oops. Is it just a giant capacitor in there? What's in there? Guess not. Just has some kind of amplifier. It's true. My body can be a capacitor. That's how capacitive touchscreens work. I just want to something I can charge basically instantly and then just discharge slowly over a long period. The thing that's daunting is it sounds like a great idea. It sounds like an incredibly good idea. But then why don't people do it more? Why don't you hear about that more? What have we been doing? So we narrowed some things down. We've got a 7 over here. If this is a 7, this is definitely 1-2 pair. If this is a 7, this is a 2. That could still be the 3. We have the 8-9 pair here. We have the 7 up here. This is not a 7 for some reason because of this. So this is not a 1. It could be 2 or 3. It's not 4 or 5. It could be 6. It's not 7, 8, or 9. Yeah, but what if I'm like... I mean, the pi is one thing. For an ESP32, I could just be pulling like microamps. Because those have like sleep modes too, where they basically pull nothing. So I only need the littlest, tiniest, slowest trickle. Anyway, it's probably not that great of an idea, but I still love it, and maybe I'll do it. These 10 cages we've not really thought about very much in our lives. I guess we know... Yeah, okay, that's a thing. We have 3 low digits here, and there's definitely a low digit in this 10 cage. So this is a high digit, for sure. Anybody else let us do that? I don't know if that was actually useful, but there you have it. This digit, what do we know about this digit? This digit is a high digit. It's not in there, and it touches this cage, and it's not... Sorry, let me do that one more time. I feel like I did that incorrectly. This digit... Oh, no. This digit touches this cage. So those are all ruled out. This volt, I should say. And it's not low, and it sees the 2 digits. So this digit is that digit. So it is also 7, 8, 9. I don't have a scope. I keep not buying one. I every time I think about buying one, I go down the dark path of either I need to try to find some like used, extremely expensive fancy one, or I get one of the ridiculous $100 ones. I don't actually... The stuff I typically do, I don't... A scope hasn't been as important to me. Sometimes I care about like data. What are those things? Like a data analysis, in which case I just fake it and use an Arduino or something to watch the pens. I've thought about getting one of these. If I had to buy something today, maybe this is what I would get. Those, who is it? Somebody has, one of these. That is like a reasonably nice oscilloscope and logic analyzer. It just doesn't have a display. So it's like a USB peripheral that you visualize on your computer. But I don't know. It's $300 instead of 10,000 or whatever. I don't know what people like right now. One day, maybe that should be my next purchase. Maybe a fancy key site. Are these the ones that are not, or I don't even remember. Signet, isn't there? What is the one I'm thinking of that everybody recommends? No, not USB. Why did I type USB? That was weird. I do like these handheld ones. They're kind of cool. I just don't know the name of it. Siglent. There's two particular ones that people say are reasonably good for like relatively low cost. I feel like these are generally pretty well regarded for being a few $100 instead of thousands. I think the Hand Tech is another one that is usually, or oh, well, these are three brands I hear of. I haven't looked in a while. Electro Boom. Does he actually use his oscilloscope or just blow it up? What were we saying? We were saying that this, if this is a 7, this is a 5. Okay, life is yours. I'm gonna try to focus for a while. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna try. So we did end up with this. That's what we just did, right? We decided that's a high digit, which means this has to be a low digit. And in fact, it has to be 1, 2, or 3. We know there's a low digit here, so we have a triple. So one of these is the 1, and then the 2 or 3 is going to be in here. The 4 then is someplace. I don't know where the 4 is. Let's have another high digit to deal with, but that could be a 5. That could still be high. We do have one more low. Okay. It seems like polarity is probably more important than this that I'm considering. This can't be 6. Can it? Maybe it can be. Never mind. This can't be 6. Yeah, if I try to make this a 6, it will 6 can in this land, seemingly 6 can only be here or here for reasons. And if I put a 6 here, it sees this and it touches the volt. So that is a 5. So this is a 3. And 5s are gray. So that is not 3, 5. So that is a 2, 6 pair making up this. So there's no 2 here. So this is 1, 3. The 2's over there. There's no 2 here, so that's not 8. That is not 5. So this is either 1, 6 to make 7 or 4, 3 to make 7. I feel like this 2, 6 should have more of an opinion. That's what I like this song. The 2, 3, the 2's down there. 3's up there. The 1, 3, 3's up there, 1's over here. There's the other 1. I don't know. That's 1, 2. Or 6. That is definitely a 2, 6 pair. It's definitely a 2, 6 pair. Both, okay, yeah, right. 6 is in here. So there's no 6 in here. So this is not the 6. So this is the 6. For that to be a 6, this has to be a 1. That's a 2. That's a 6. That is low. That is high. We get an 8, 9 pair in here. So this is, in fact, a 7. So that is a 2. There's no 7s here. That is a 3. This looks insane, but we're just going to let it slide. What is up here? 5, 3? If this was a 3, this would be a 9, which can't be, right? Let me say that again. This is a 5, 3 pair. If I put a 3 here, this is 9, but there's an 8, 9 pair, so that's not a 3. So that is a 5, so that is a 7. That is a 3. 5s are gray, 7s are orange, 3s are blue. That's fine. So the 8, 9 pair is up here with the 4. 4, 8, 9. The 4 is not there. That is not a 7. That is not a 7. That is not a 3. It's going to only be a 4 if that's a double 9. 8, 9 here, so we are missing 2 and 6. Apparently. Feels like there's some German whispering that I have not whispered. Put the double 1 there. That 2, 3 pair. We have a lot of digits now that are probably touching things. Yeah, this 3 sees all of those, but it's touching this volt. And if I tried to put a 3 here, this would be a 7, and it can't be. So 3 is definitely up here, which is fine. In terms of the 8, 9. 3 is definitely up here, so that is not 3. So that's definitely 1 or 2, which I think is fine. We talked about 4s not being in here, and we didn't do anything with that. 4 could still be up there with double 9, annoyingly. If this was a 4, this would be a 6, which at this moment seems possible. Maybe likely. Talked about 3s. 3 is definitely down here somewhere, which doesn't feel very surprising. There's no 6 in here. I mean, this is almost done. I think that's really helpful. One is over here somewhere. So that's not a 1, 9 to make 10. Actually, there's a lot of stuff looking at this. Maybe we should actually think about this. What we're missing here is Helio, how's it going? We need 3, 4, 6 to complete this, and we need some arrangement of those digits to sum to 10, which is going to be the 4, 6 for the high-low there. So there's no 3 here, so this is going to be the 3, which means that is not a 7. It means this... Yeah, so that has to be the 1, so that is the 9, that's the 8. 8, 3 is fine. That makes you the 9 and you the 8. This 3 requires a 4 to be 7. That's a 2. Ooh, domino trails. Wasn't there more than one of those? I have to remind myself of that puzzle. Yeah, there's several, right? I loved those. Loved those puzzles. This was my, before Yin Yang Sightline, the Domino Trails puzzles were my absolute favorite Blobz puzzles. So that is very exciting if you're working on a puzzle inspired by that, because I think right now I would say all the Yin Yang Sightlines puzzles are my absolute favorite, but prior to that, I think the Domino Trails puzzles were my favorite Blobz puzzles. Okay, that's an 8, that's a 9, 9, 8. Man, those were good. Loved those. Oh, that's great news, Helio. Helio plus Blobz. What a better I'm speechless. I can't even articulate words. What a beautiful combination. That's 7. So this has to be, so that can't be a 3. Okay, suddenly the whole puzzle is just unraveling without me even thinking about it. Hopefully I'm not making terrible mistakes. This seems okay. 6 is next to 1. We seem to be forcing a 1 here and here. And 1 needs a 6 to make the 7. That seems okay so far. Oh, that's awesome. I'm very excited to hear that. The song just started stressing me out. Maybe that's why I couldn't speak. Okay. You are a 9, which is fine. That's a 9. You're not a 9. We get a 6 here and a 2 here. Which don't... That song sounds almost just like the previous song. Maybe it's on the same album. Yeah, it is kind of like... This is... So this is Pretzel, but it is not the Pretzel, their terrible playlists. It's one particular, I guess, label that has songs available, which is great. So I'm trying it. These can be very high. This can't be because of that 7. So that's a 1 or a 2. So use the 1. So that is the 2. This has to be 3 or 4, right? And it actually can be 4 because of the double 9. So this is 3, 4, 8, and it's not 8 or 3. So actually the 4 is over here. Right? Because 3, 4, 8 is what we were missing. And this seems both 3 and 8, so that can only be 4. I don't say that with a great deal of confidence. So that puts the 4 here after all, which puts a huge amount of pressure on this. So this is definitely a high digit because it's not any of the low digits, and it sees 6 and 9. So this is a 7 or an 8, so this is a 2 or a 3. It's not a 3, so it's a 2. That's an 8. I don't know. I mean, Pretzel's chill channel used to be fine, and now they charge way too much money. Why doesn't anybody for any service, I mean, I'm sure the answer is just I'm not an economist, but like, why doesn't anything just cost like $1 a month? Why isn't that true? Why isn't there a service that's just like, yeah, it's $1. It's fine. Not even just for music, but for anything. I also want it to be YouTube ready, which I'm not sure these are. Although I feel like that list is how I found Pretzel in the first place. We need 4, 5, and that's the 5. It just seems crazy. The same thing with Obsidian, which is a note-taking application I like. Their little syncing utility, their sync service, is also like $10+ a month, where it just seems crazy compared to other value propositions of what you get for that amount of money per month, when it's like you get almost nothing comparatively. It's just, I don't know. I'm sure there's reasons that doesn't actually scale properly. There's always been that question, kind of the popular question of like, oh, well, maybe you'd have way more users if you charge less, but maybe people don't want more users because users are annoying and expensive. That is a 6, 7. So that is a 8, I hope. Is Chill Hop good? I'm gonna get in trouble. Do they support YouTube as well? We have to place... 4 is a funny one. I gotta remember that 4 would be allowed. In fact, 4 is just right here. It is in the cage. My brain still wants to exclude things from sharing cages, but it's not how the world works anymore. 3 over here is not there, and it's also not 1 or 2, and it's also can't... No, shoot. It can't be here because it touches this cage that has a 3, but actually, could 3 be either one of these? No. 3, we see a 3 there. That just is 3. That's not a complicated thing. That means 5 is here, and that means 7 is here. Yeah, but I don't care about my Twitch VODs because they get deleted anyway. My YouTube stuff goes up forever, and it's annoying when it gets claimed, and then it just sucks. Especially when it's something that is explicitly supposed to be free to use. What do we need down here? We need 257. That's not a 2. That's not a 5. You're not a 2 either. So we just had the 2 just floating around. 5 or 7 in terms of that cage. This 5 means this can't be a 5. So that's the 7 and that's the 5. Is gray, is orange, is blue. So we get a 6, 7, both of which are orange. The 5, this is a 5, 9. That's the 5, that's the 9. Oh, is that true? Does Twitch use the like music recognition algorithm from? That's surprising. I didn't know that. Maybe that shouldn't be surprising. Except insofar as in like that kind of service, I feel like Amazon and Google are adversaries. But sometimes there's weird truces. This digit, we probably know that it's a 6. And this digit, we probably know that it's a 1. And this digit, we probably know that it is a 4. Wow. Okay, that one took me a little longer, but I also got distracted way more. That was lovely. I like that too. Actually, I like the, I'm about to mention, thank you. I was going to mention, see, I have to be very careful when I say things about Blobz puzzles, because then Blobz might go do the thing. And I was just thinking how much I wouldn't like it, but maybe I would love it, even though I would also hate it, if, I mean, he's probably setting this right now already, but just thinking about these weird cages allowing for repetition means they could have truly insane sums. So I was just thinking about volts, like a volt puzzle that was deliberately high sums, maybe combined with something else that was sum, like a region sum line. Blobz is probably doing this as we speak. So this is the third one of these. What was the first volt puzzle? So this one was German Whispers, the previous one was Rim Bands, and the first one was, I forgot. What was the constraint in the first volt puzzle? Arrows. It was arrows. So yeah, volt with region sums, I feel like could be interesting, but also heartbreaking, because I can just picture insane, nonsensical sums. This is such a pretty grid. What a beautiful grid. Okay, I think 2 puzzles is enough. Bowie, are you good? Boy Bear. Hey. Hi. Are you done? Do you want to go outside? Bowie's tired of this. Hi, Bowie Bear. He really misses his mom. He's so sad. Poor Bowie. Look at that face. What a cute little guy. What a cute little guy you are. What a little baby. He's just a little baby man. Okay. Oh, you're okay. It's okay. This is chilling. Just having a good time. What are we gonna do here? I do need to decide. So, no, I still didn't finish that. Life is Yours was so kind to buy me that display, and I still did not finish that bot. But I was thinking, that company that we got it from, the Wave Share, I was thinking about getting displays. They have like like baffling array of weird sizes of displays, which is cool. They have like really weird long rectangular one. Yeah, I would love to see it. I'm afraid to do it right now, but I would love to see it. Is it's okay if I show it on stream? Oh, okay. I'm already terrified by the... Oh my gosh. This rule set. Ooh. Okay. I'm not going to do this now. But first of all, it's gorgeous. It looks like a beautiful tattoo. That's maybe the first time I've ever said that I saw a puzzle and was like, yeah, that's a good tattoo. It also is like a beautiful slice of snowflake. Okay, let me just check out the rules here. Oh boy, that's a lot of rules. Sudoku I'm familiar with. Viking Voyage. Shade some cells, the island, such that unshaded shells, the sea, form an orthogonally connected area with no loops, or no 2x2, fully or unshaded. Different parts of the sea may touch diagonally. Islands do not need to connect to the edge of the grid. The given digit is C. That's very, okay, well, this is great. Puzzle's basically done. Remote sums. Ah, yes, remote sums. The digit X in a cage points to a second digit Y located X cells away vertically or horizontally. The number of the top left of the cage if given indicates the sum. That's good stuff. Both the digit X and the digit Y are C. Okay, so we're saying all cages are C. Is that true? I'm not doing this puzzle. I'm not doing it. I'm just coloring a little bit. The digit X also counts how many C cells, including its C cells. Oh my, wait. The digit X also counts how many C cells, including itself, can be seen orthogonally from that position islands. So this is also sightlines? I see. Well, wait, so these cages are both remote sums and sightlines. Okay, Viking Voyage just being dominoes makes total sense. X and Y digit are C. Genetics. Each digit has two properties. The first property is being shaded or unshaded according to the Viking Voyage rules. The second property is being prime. Or composite. Oh my gosh. Each cell that is directly connected to two cells in the row above it by an ivory line is considered a child of those two cells. Each child can be formed by taking a property of one parent and taking the other property of the other parent. Wow, I've never done a genetic puzzle. Seashells by the seashore with sightlines. Okay, I'm extremely tempted to dive into this, but I'm also terrified to do it. So I would actually really like to stream this week though, but I think I would not be going into this towards the end of the stream with feeling mentally prepared. But that is a beautiful rule set, and that is a beautiful grid. I've never seen the genetics rules. Who came up with it? Like, who should I look for? The song is not good. Yeah, I would be interested to see it. I don't think I've run into that. I'm so behind on like new variants. It's it's a sad sort of double-edged thing. I used to watch Cracking the Cryptic religiously, and then when I started solving, I started watching it less, and now I just feel like I'm 20 variants behind at all times. These look like insane runes. Oh, okay, but okay, I see. So the genetics is... Ah, I see. So in this case, there's only two properties, and then it's odd or even, and then low, medium, or high. Interesting. Oh man, I want to do... Okay, I'm not going to do this today. We're not going to do it today, but I want to do this as well. Oh, that's awesome. 3 stars. Maybe I'll do this one off stream. Yeah, so the interesting, it's been around. I love that. The premise there is really interesting. Now I'm awaiting the nightmare though, where it's like each digit has 10 properties. You know it's coming. It's like, ooh, I love the way this looks very nice on this. Oh, was that happening in the puzzle we did today? The German Whisper we did today? Did we have insane? Oh no, that's not quite the right shade of green. That's funny. That one didn't trigger the chroma key. Okay, I'm gonna look at displays for a minute, and then I'm gonna be done. But I maybe I'll do that genetic puzzle off stream, and then Helio, I'd really like to do yours, although I'm slightly terrified by the rules. I wish you could get bigger square displays. Wish that was the thing that was available. But what I think I want is for that viewfinder project. Where is that thing? This display, I'm trying to decide how big it is. It's probably something like 7 or 8 inches diagonal. I think this is the 7-inch display, and it's not bad. It's maybe a little bit small. So I think I'd prefer a slightly larger display. I actually don't care if it's touch-based. It would be cool if it cost less than $100. That would be cool. This is still assuming that I use Raspberry Pi for it, which I don't. Yeah, all these are cool, like these weird super long ones. Ooh, yin yang genetics. That sounds good. Okay, I'm very interested in all of this. 2 circles and make it 3D. I went back and forth on that. Ultimately, my initial idea was I was thinking basically it was like a VR headset, and maybe it even was AR. But one of the most experienced people at the museum, who I think has now been there for 25 years, very rightly was like, let's not make something that children put their eyes on like all day, every day with no cleaning between it. It was just like an instant pink eye machine. So pretty quickly abandoned the pink eye machine. We're just going to have a little display. It also lets like multiple people use it, you know, like one kiddo can look at it or whatever, or their parents can like control it while the kiddo looks at it. So I'm thinking no. I like that idea. That's where my brain was going at first. Like this is a pretty good one. It's 4x3. Wow, 1024 by 768. That is that takes me back. In my youth, that was considered an incredible resolution. $89. Toughened glass. Do you think that's actually tough enough for children to smash into? Probably not. Probably need to put some polycarbonate in front of it. Oh yeah, he's really amazing. Like he's one of their like exhibit tech / exhibit designer who's just been around forever and has seen everything like come through the museum and what works and what doesn't. So he's definitely a person whose takes I trust on what works well and what doesn't. This seems pretty good. 4x3. Does has Raspberry Pi. That would be the one downside of switching to a Latte Panda. It'd be kind of nice to use something that is already designed for Raspberry Pi. I assume that's what those mounts are for. Actually, it mentions some other. Whoa. This supports compute modules? How? Also, I wonder if it powers as well. Like I guess so. If you do 5 volts, 5 amps, it seems like so much. Good grief. Is that where we are with the Raspberry Pi now? 5 amps? I'd probably do a 4. Gosh, are we really? What happened to low power? The like original Raspberry Pis were like half an amp. 500 milliwatts would run 2.5. I guess, well, okay, to be fair, in this case, we're powering the display as well. I think this is what I want. And I could use a Latte Panda, I just wouldn't be able to use the built-in mounts. I don't really need touch. The only problem is that resolution is not amazing, but it's actually kind of an advantage in terms of like a low power system. It's fewer pixels I have to render. I would kind of like it to be a little denser than that. But I do like the squareness of it. Or here's an 8-inch that's 1280 by 800, which is a bit more modern. That's close to like 1610. So maybe this is the better. Maybe this is better. But this is not a, this is just an appliance. Like it has Visa screws, but this is not made, I guess, for direct connect to a Pi the way the others are, which is not necessarily bad. Then I could just make a mount for anything. The power is more annoying then, right? Presumably that means I have to power it independently? Or do you think it could power off of USB? This is IPS. What was the other one? That's also IPS. 1080. I just don't know that it's that necessary for a display that's this big. 1280, maybe. I mean, honestly, even the 1024 is probably fine. I kind of like this because it is a little more of a standalone appliance. And it was not very expensive. I start buying stuff and prototyping. Toughened glass. Hi-fi speaker. Oh, this has a speaker. It's got Visa on the back, so we could just 3D print some other mount. Steam Deck is something a little bit funny. It might be like 1280 by 800 also. And then there's a second model that I think has a newer... I don't know if it's switched. Yeah, 1280 800. So this is effectively a Steam Deck display, but with a different PPI, right? Like, because the display of the Steam Deck itself is not that big. This is what was that? That was an 8-inch display. So lower pixel density, lower PPI. Which I think is fine. There's not going to be any text on this or anything. There's some cute fishies on there. Do I trust this as like a real appliance? I think I kind of do. Waveshare seems to have a reasonable reputation for that. They also have so many different options. I'm sure the speakers sound incredible. I kind of like that one. It's not very expensive. It's enclosed. Although here's a 10-inch. I bet this has worse color. It's still IPS though. I'm actually sort of surprised to see that. I'll just have to, you know, it would actually really help is if there was a CAD model. Oh, this is terrible resolution. Wait a second. Is that what I clicked on? Oh, I see. I clicked a related project. So here's a 10-inch capacitive. There are too many options. Well, no, I mean, the bezels doesn't matter that much because I'm going to build my own bezel around it anyway. It's going to just sit in some kind of bracket, well, on the back side. So I'm not too worried. They kind of have too many options, honestly. I don't know what to get. I want something that, excuse me, I think will be around for some years and be easy to replace. Is the... I mean, I kind of want to know if they have... Annoyingly, should I get an OLED for it? Seems overkill. I wish you could support, like, sort by something that would give you some indication on whether or not, you know, like sort by popularity or something. Wait, the button? What is the button?
This is the Smart Knob view.
Cute. Someone just make this with just like a watch display. Is it a... That is cute. Okay, I'm gonna stop streaming in a second. Just wanted to, while I was forcing myself to sit here, kind of just wanted, just pretty lame that you can't filter by something more meaningful. You know? What is a luck fox? It's just a cool screen. Great. I just don't know, like, how trustworthy are these? Do I trust you? I need them to never break, ever. I do love a knurled knob. It's true. I was just watching ClickSpring make this crazy knob knurling thing that does like rope knurling. Oh man, I gotta get into machining. I also don't, and I also shouldn't, but I kind of want to. Yeah, he made these cool rope knurls. Do like a good fat knurled knob. Probably gonna get into machining just for it. Although I think knurling is harder than it seems like it should be. Knurling is a like deformation operation. It's not a cutting operation really. You're just kind of like smushing metal. It seems to be tricky to get a good knurl. I watch a lot of machinists on YouTube, and not many of them end up with amazing knurls. I do love good monstrous knurled knob though. That's true. I had some working on a weird project. It fell through, unfortunately. It was pretty good actually, but David, my business partner, had a client, and then I helped them build this system that was basically, I think the premise is really good, and I think unfortunately they just decided not to go this route. But the idea was you'd be listening to audio, and you have a knob that you can turn that does not turn the volume up and down. It turns the intensity up and down. So it was made for like psychedelic research. So you're like on psychedelics, and you're maybe going to have a bad time. And if you want to turn down the intensity of the music, you can turn it down. But what you're actually doing is not changing volumes, but you're like sort of crossfading through other tracks that are aligned such that it basically is you're turning down like how intense the music is, which is really cool. Now I can't find that knob. I'm just going to show you this knob. Maybe I showed it on screen. It was cool, but it had the most insane, absurd programming interface I've ever encountered in my entire life. No, it didn't muffle it. It was sort of, imagine it's just like one song. Imagine like Beethoven's Fifth, and imagine it performed like 100-piece orchestra versus a gentle lo-fi indie version on piano or something, and that you could turn and kind of like transform. It had multiple stages of crossfade, basically, of different intensities. So it was different audio that you were sort of like transitioning across, and then you could press it to change the channel to like different kind of genres of music, basically. I cannot find this knob. Anyway, this was the most ridiculous programming thing I've ever seen. To program the knob, it had no, it just shows up as like a USB input device, like a USB keyboard, like human interface device. And there's not a way to talk to it. Because those kind of devices are one way in their communication, right? So what you had to do to program this device, and it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen in computing in my life, is you had to plug it in, and then you had to open up Notepad, and you had to make sure that your mouse was on Notepad, and then you had to trigger the device in such a way that it would go into programming mode, and it would start typing because it was showing up to the computer as a keyboard, and it would just start typing in Notepad. And then you had to use the device, like turning it and clicking it, to change what the text was showing up, like actual editable text in Notepad, and that's how it showed its menus to configure it. It was insane, but it worked. It was very annoying if you had to do it more than once, but anyway, the point is we're gonna neural everything. The point is I really am getting, I've been like, you know how I was saying, like I watched Cracking the Cryptic for years, and then one day was like, okay, I'm ready, I'm gonna start solving puzzles. I've been doing the same thing with YouTube Machinists, where basically at the time that I started Cracking the Cryptic, almost down to probably the same week, I started watching YouTube Machinist videos and thinking about it. Kind of want a lathe, kind of want a mill, kind of want a CNC plasma cutter. What are those like what if we got like this? What if we bought this? $8,000. Okay, what if we didn't get that? What if instead we got this? What if we got, yeah, what if we got this? See, this is kind of up my alley because it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's kind of was scary. Like just to think how easy it would be to plug in any random USB device and just the control that you give it to your computer every time you do that. But yeah, to actually configure it in that way, I've never seen anything like it. Okay, look at this thing. What if I bought this? What if I bought this? The thing that's crazy about this is kind of like my router that I have. The CNC router I have is you buy the CNC setup, but not the actual router is just a like off-the-shelf Makita router that you just plop in as the spindle. So, wow, do they have a cooler? When did this happen? They have a new version. Can I upgrade to the new one? Am I just like out of? Oh no, have I been left behind? I think I have a Journeyman Pro. Wow, Foreman. But do they have a new display? When did that happen? I mean, I could put whatever display on it I want, probably, but... Hang on, sorry, I didn't know about these Elite machines. What is different about the Elite machine? Do you get a real spindle? No. Maybe it's the software. Anyway, whatever. Yikes. It's kind of terrifying. Like the, well, yeah, but it costs quite a bit more. Why does it cost so much more? I mean, one of the things I do love about USB in like making stuff, and one of the things one of the reasons I just almost never touch an Arduino Uno anymore is all the microcontrollers I use now can really easily emulate whatever USB device you want, for better or worse. Okay, so we have a giant. I actually don't know anything about this. I don't know when this happened. I'm kind of surprised they didn't send me an email trying to get me to buy this. Is it better? Do you think I could, do you think there's like an upgrade kit? The Infinite Possibilities Upgrade Program. Oh, there is. So you can upgrade to an Elite for $2,000. Why is that so expensive? What? I don't think I really understand. So different electronics, different motors. I see. So you get like an industrial controller. Interesting. But then you probably have to pay a subscription. I don't know about this. This is just self-destruct if you plug in anything you shouldn't. Anyway, I was getting distracted. The thing that was cool about this is you could just buy this, and then you go to Home Depot or whatever and get the Makita router and put it in, and you have a CNC router. This is the plasma cutter version of that, which looks insane when people do it. But basically, you buy this, and then you buy a handheld plasma torch, and then you have to hack the torch. Which, you know, some people would probably say that's not a very good idea, but what if it was a good idea? What about that? So for, and it's also funny, I was just thinking about tool pressure and there's none. That's why this can just be an arm, I guess. So basically it's a handheld plasma cutter just bolted to this thing, and then you just cut through 1/4-inch plates of steel, which I feel like is what's missing in my life. Like, how am I supposed to cut out a cow? Yeah, it's hard to direct the grape plasma, though, is the problem. What if I got one of these? It's basically a laser cutter, but for steel. Kind of tempted. I don't need it. It should be clear. I should probably instead get like a mill or a lathe or something. But what if I didn't? It's a personal plasma table. This is just for personal use. Wait, plasma cut a fence? Wait, did you see that? Is that someone made a fence with the plasma cutter? Oh, you mean this handrail? I feel like I've done wood turning. I've done some like plastic on a metal lathe. Yeah, the railings. I don't understand why they show this. This doesn't make any sense. Why would you use? I mean, maybe they use it to. That makes no sense. Like maybe to cut the angles or something. Because if you want to do this really nicely, you would cut those in such a way that they're cupped at a very specific angle. So maybe. maybe that's why you would do that. No, I don't understand. No idea. Maybe they just showed up because they tagged them and they just show anybody who shows the tag, which would be pretty funny. Maybe I should just start doing that. Well, but it's like a compound curve, kind of. I mean, it's a compound angle. Yeah, I would like a... Okay, let's just buy some... Let's just order some stuff right now. I mean, I know it's kind of sacrilegious to... I mean, that's not that expensive, right? No. Oh gosh, like lathe injury videos. No thanks. So terrified. Ugh. Whoa. Just thinking about it makes me... What a cool CNC lathe. Problem is, I don't know. I'm not the things I want to make. I could imagine certainly using a CNC mill to make things, but I feel like a lot of the things that I personally would want to make a CNC mill, it's going to be like flat stock, like a shape cutout. And what if I just plasma cut it instead? What if? Oh, don't even... Whoa, yeah. That might be... Degloving might be one of the most gentle sounding words, like in terms of ratio of horrificness of imagery to benignness of terminology. Degloving. Gotta be there. Yeah, I don't want to think about it. Whoa. Let's get some nice... gentle. This beautiful mill. See, should I just be like this guy? I feel like this guy really nailed it because I don't know that this guy actually makes anything. He just buys tools and gets lots of views on YouTube and then uses that money to buy more tools. Like sometimes he'll 3D print a thing and sometimes he'll make tools for the tools. But I don't think he actually makes anything. I think he just like works on his tools with his other tools, which maybe that's the way. Well, this old Tony, he added, didn't he add CNC to one of the cheap mini lathes? And I think he added CNC to his big mill, and then he did make that CNC mill. I think I can mill aluminum on my CNC. But what if I could just cut it with plasma? Where did I just see this old Tony post? I've been seeing him crop up just in the last week, actually, strangely enough. Like in, I know my YouTube history is going to be embarrassing. It's going to be all machinists. I think I just saw him here pop up. Yes, this old Tony creeping in the comments. And just somewhere else. It might have been a Blondie Hacks video. I can't remember who it was. You can tell I've been working on a washing machine. Should go finish that. This insane video Life is Yours sent me. Oh my gosh, all this stuff is so incredible. ClickSpring, amazing channel. And some air fryer recipes. So yeah, good stuff. Matthias Wendell. I think I unsubscribed to him. He actually just got into machining. This guy's insane, and he does make a lot of his wood shop tools, and I'm pretty sure he did build a lathe out of a washing machine. Meaning, I think he makes a lot of his shop tools from scratch, out of wood, which is kind of insane. He like makes pretty heavy tools out of wood, but then we'll add whatever motor he can get to them. And I seem to remember when he built his lathe, that he built his lathe. Yeah, building a wood lathe. I think this is maybe like a washing machine or dryer motor. Which is pretty good. And he uses it. Like, he builds this stuff and actually uses it. He's pretty... The craziest one was this giant bandsaw that he built. Where does he talk about the motor? Very light motor. What does he talk about the motor? Anyway, I think that motor was left over from some appliance, which is insane. Okay, I'm leaving. This is we're fully derailed at this point. This is what happens when Life is Yours comes around. Life is Yours, I've missed you. Bowie is sick of this. Bowie wants to go outside. Poor Bowie. Poor Bowie. Poor little man. All right, thanks everybody. Helio, good luck with that puzzle. It looks amazing, even though I'm terrified of it. And I will see all of you very soon. Bye.